Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, depending on, I guess it's up to you to download the show and listen to it at your own leisure, at either the morning time, nighttime, good what have you. It's another beautiful night here, or morning, you know?
Or afternoon.
And it could be shitty out, I don't know.
All right, everybody, just as a heads up, this is an entertainment comedy podcast and by no means is intended as an educational one. So with that being said, if you're easily offended at comedy shows, movies, TV, or really any medium of entertainment, please don't listen. If you're incapable of occasionally hearing something that contradicts your views without outright just getting offended, please, this isn't for you. I'm heavily of the idea myself that everything and anything can and should be laughed at and talked about, as it takes the power away from those ideas being able to harm you or affect you in any way negatively. Also, I'm in favor of all sides being made fun of, so please know that I'm not trying to single anyone out. Just know that sometimes, due to current events, some sides may get hit harder than others. That's just life. With that being said, welcome to the MERC podcast. Taking up after one of my idols, just realizing the fact that sometimes even if you are worried about putting out trash, you should probably just put out trash. And just like that, welcome to another episode of this mess in your semi-irregular pattern of releasing them whenever the hell I feel like it. We are at episode 18, people. This is the February Smarch edition where we are able to celebrate February. Yeah, boy! Because I was not able to release an episode during that month, even though I had so much planned for it. But we are now in March, living it up in Quarantinaville, in the United States, that is, where, well, probably the majority of the world too. Although I did see that Africa is not being hit real hard with this current coronavirus that's been going around. And as somebody that's as young as I am, I've lived through a couple catastrophes as far as just seeing how people behave and react in certain situations when they go into doomsday mode or just panic mode. Now, not surprised, one of the first things to go are just canned foods of all kinds and toilet paper, which people are shocked that that's happening. One thing that I'm personally shocked about is that gas has been going down, at least where I'm in Texas. I'm surprised that we're not rationing that off, or that people are trying to hoard that off to some degree, even though gas goes bad after a while pretty quickly. But with that being said, we are in the middle of a epidemic, apparently. People are freaking out. Understandable. But this might be population control, because a lot of the problems, at least caused in my country, have been caused by the people that are in the baby boomer generation. And this particular virus has pretty bad effects on people that are older. So my recommendation to everybody out there, go cough on a politician. Go cough on all of those guys. That should hopefully help thin things out as far as just getting people out of there, or at least scare the shit out of them. But as somebody that has suffered from respiratory diseases and just respiratory issues his entire life with just shitty lungs, which is why I particularly love cardio, because it at least puts me at a baseline of normal to everybody else. I'm not too bothered by this. I mean, all you got to do is just really make sure to treat it like you would any fever or cold. And with that being said to people, calm the hell down. You'll be fine. This thing has a 4% mortality rate. Now, that is granted high compared to other things, but in the grander scope of things, it's pretty low. You'll be fine. Speaking of you'll be fine, or you're doing fine, or whatever, Tom Papa released his new special. Go watch it, people. Wholesome comedy. Good wholesome comedy. And just overall great guy. If you haven't listened to his podcast or ran into his many podcast appearances that he's been doing, promoting his special and book, great content. Now, we are going to be covering a bit of things here, and it is going to be going all over the place. As mentioned, I just want to put an episode out, and I'm not worried about a format here. So, with that, I do want to cover things that have been going on with my life lately. Now, I don't want to get into the specifics as to when this happened, mainly because, again, I am a fairly new person in the world of wrestling, actually wrestling. Well, not actually wrestling. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I've been working events, just setting up for shows, reffing the occasional shows or couple matches, working as security here and there for a couple of events, local indie shows and things like that. But at around, actually, I'm not going to give you guys a specific date because I don't want to out myself on this. I was at a show where we had a couple people there, ECW legend who will not be named, a hardcore legend of today, and a Texas wrestler, a couple of them that were just having a rap wrestling crossover show. I've never heard of that combination. I know that I'm swallowing a lot right now, and that nobody used that clip there as far as isolating it to make me say like I'm saying something. But I apologize, people. I am a little bit sick. Not sure about what. It's been a bad cold for about 3 weeks where my cough will not just go away. So there's going to be a lot of that. So my bad. But amongst this show, it was, I don't know, personally, the rap show was kind of crap itself. I feel like nobody cares about audio quality in a live performance. You literally cannot hear anything, and the only thing that you can make out is just air horns about every 5 to 2 seconds. So it was literally something like this. All right, everybody, what's going on? All right, we're going on. Yeah, we're going to jump up and down. Yeah. All right, everybody. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Give it up for the next guy. All right. Y'all ready for some more shit? All right. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Jump up in the air, guys. Yeah. And nothing like that. Just that for about a good 3 hours. Yeah. And I personally got a little bit ticked off about this because we just acquired a beautiful baby blue matte canvas that was going to go on top of the ring for this show for the singles match that was planned that night with 2 pros that know what they're doing and overall did have a good match. And then we had a vinyl canvas that we break out for death matches and hardcore matches and basically whenever something's going to get bloody so that we don't make a mess out of the canvas. And again, without burying whoever I was working with that day, if you know me on a personal level, you can ask me. And if anybody else asks me to verify that, I will deny that I ever told you that. But said person who was a deathmatch specialist told us that he didn't want to use the vinyl canvas because he's just going to be, quote, slipping and not going to be able to work throughout the show. And I was just thinking to myself, dude, you don't even do anything. You don't run the ropes. You don't clothesline anybody. You just basically stab somebody in the face and then bleed all over, get the person bleeding all over the ring and then just kind of beat him up throughout the entire arena. What exactly are you going to be slipping up on your footwork doing a death match? So, us being nice, we took his word. He said that there was going to be no blood whatsoever in the ring. All right, cool. And that was at the start of the setup of the show. A couple of hours later, and some shitty rappers and a couple dozen of those. We cut to their match. These, and because of those, I didn't hear that there was a couple gunshots in the parking lot. And that being Dallas, and police response time being what it is there, nothing happened. The show didn't get canceled. So, right, back to that death match. Within 3 minutes, dude just blades in the middle of the ring, and that beautiful baby blue canvas is now just destroyed and turned to shit because of this. So, Yeah, that left a bad taste on me. That, and especially because there's no safety protocols in wrestling when it comes to this, at least not in the indies. It's not like we're going to break out the gloves and get the disinfectants and proper things to get rid of the pathogens and all that other crap. The reality is that if that ring had blood on it the night before, chances are it still had traces of blood on it the next day. You could smell the iron on the goddamn ropes from all the death matches and everything else that was involved with that, really. Because the previous night before, we did have a death match, and we did have to break out the canvas on that ring for another event. But, right, so here we are, cut to the end of the match, the end of the show, really. We're having to roll everything up. We're getting blood all over ourselves, and now we have to just kind of take it on the chin and just go with it. Everybody that I work with in wrestling is great. As far as just the people that work with me directly, the people that I've been working with underneath, and people that have been training me. It's just that this particular experience soured me. And I know what a lot of veterans are going to say, hey, that's part of the business, kid. But you know what? Fuck you. It shouldn't be like that, and you know that it shouldn't be that way. And the right that I don't have a right to actually talk about these things, and you're going to tell me that I'm just bitching and complaining, I'm just talking about this shit. I'm not saying that I don't want to do this anymore and that I wouldn't do this anymore, so shut the fuck up. Now, with that being said, I do just want to say that the world of wrestling has been nice to me and has offered plenty of opportunities to me. And I will take those opportunities, because the reality is that sometimes all you got to do is just be at the right time, right place, and you'll get your shot. And sometimes the world's going to throw a wrench in the whole plan, and it's just gone. Perfect example of this, I was going to be having my first singles match just this past Friday, which is not going to matter as far as just the particular date, because these things are going to be released whenever the hell I choose to release them. But it would have been mid-March that I would have had my first match. Now, granted, it would have been just as a mass job or nobody, but you know what? I wanted to have that. I wanted to work at it, and I found out about it by surprise about 4 days earlier, and when I found out about it, I wanted to polish up as much as possible. But this, what are we calling it? COVID-19, coronavirus, the C virus. So we could be edgy, pretend that Umbrella is doing this. I like the C virus. Either way, due to that and many things being canceled nationwide, we had to cancel that particular show of ours. So, a bit bummed out, and hopefully I might be able to get my chance sooner rather than later, because this was unexpected as it is. And I guess that'll just give me more time to get polished up and get ready. I mean, glass half full in this type of situation, right? So, among current events, what's been going on all this time, we had some situations, some things in the news happen. Kobe Bryant, Ari Shafir's career. Who else? Passengers, Kobe Bryant's daughter, Mr. Peanut. We have to do the send-off. And that's in memoriam. So that happened. And I do just want to say that a lot of things have been happening. So one of the things that have caught my attention is that PS5 has a predicted price point of, I know that's the worst segue ever, of $470 to $499, so about $500, which I think that's around what the PS3 cost when it was first released. Samsung versus Motorola, getting into that world of things. If we're talking pure specs, Samsung Fold has the win on that. If we're talking about just appearances, the Motorola looks way more better. And in terms of the stock market, due to the virus right now, I would recommend for people to buy low, as a lot of companies are going to be losing a lot of money in the stock market, particularly airlines and hospitality. as they are not going to be having as many customers due to the fact that many people are going to be scared to go to large areas due to spreading the contagion. So buy low there, as it is going to drop, and it'll inevitably raise unless this is going to turn into Armageddon, in which case, if it is, you shouldn't even worry about money. Don't worry about the losing money. But my recommendation is going to be to invest in hotels and airline stocks, as you're likely going to be seeing a big return on those once this all washes up. And as far as just things that are currently skyrocketing, your Pfizer companies, anything that's basically associated with cleaning companies, your Lysol's, Purell, Charmin, toilet paper, toiletries, and all that other stuff, that's going to be going up. As always in times of crisis like this, weapons go up. Bullets, guns, everything's in high demand for that, so that's going to be going up. Your water manufacturing companies, so Nestle and Coca-Cola, I guess, whatever else, those are going to be going up because those are the cheap options that people stock in bulk buy. And that's just kind of my suggestion and things like that. Now, personally, me, I'm not much of a saver. I'm not much of an investor. Just mainly, I never have the foresight for that. So, whoops. And I do just want to say that I do recall a current event that seems to be a regular thing. A couple months or so, it always happens. Thankfully, this didn't end in the way of tragedy that most things do, but apparently there was a bullying case that happened, and we're not going to go too much into it, but we are going to make fun of this with an athlete that was reading an apology to a kid a couple years ago. And as most athletes, they don't really seem to be all that very well versed in grammar or elocution or just public speaking. So with that, we're unveiling the new drop.
And again, sorry that bullying has been taking place at your school.
And that's exactly what you'll get with a college education when they draft you out of there to go play in the NFL. And I do want to cover some other things here. We are going to do a bit of a change to this podcast as far as just dropping a couple songs time to time, a couple of them that I like. One of the ones that I'm hoping is going to make it onto this one is going to be the Take Back Culture by Bad Luck, produced by James Halton. Discovered these guys from the Legion of Skanks when they were doing the Battle of the Badass Bands a couple years ago. Stuck with me. I love their work, and hopefully you will too. Links to their music is going to be in the description. They're not quite available in many places due to the fact that they are not signed to a big label. And with that being said, 17 minutes seems good here as far as just me babbling. I'll see if I can pop these out more. Gotta hide a burp, hold on. And we will see you guys on the next one.
At one time, for your mind. Yeah. Tell them where I come from. That thing to say. I come from poverty-stricken living, the fatherless children, optimists can't ignore it, living and watching it. From young and growing, Nola repeated, to feel your soul is depleted. You'll all win when you know you're defeated. I got this stiff esophagus, hidden message of missed imposters. Dissing my shit, but using they shit to get this dollar. Forget your profit, I'm mythologic in Nicaragua. I hit up you when I hit a Yui, we hit the Carter. My reach is further than we converse, a unique inertia. It's time to standard of rhyming damage the weaker person. I drop a script that don't got a limit, so be alerted. I got to get it, this kind of menace should be averted. You Secret Service when we emerge and they keep us nervous just to join us after the beating, but that defeats the purpose. Your leaders fronting in need of something that we could work with. In my position, the competition will be converted. Let's take it back to the good old days, that good old rap. In fact, I'll be good all day with that. Let's take it back for the kids, back from the stars, I'm back. Now to get back to the bars, let's take it back to the good old days, that good old rap. In fact, I'll be good all day with that. Let's take it back for the kids, back from the stars, I'm back. Now to get back to the bars, They say it's over, I'm saying you know, I'ma save the culture. And they eventually may potentially make the quota. Let's take control of this thing and own up to making moments. I start my day with the art, ain't here to play with no one. The ring is open, contenders coming, I inch or something. Content with living like this and feeling it's different nothing. But not for nothing, let's stop beloved, I got the public. You try to judge it to no avail and you got to love it. I'm incidental on instrumentals, forget your pencils. Ooh, I ain't ready for school, or maybe I'm rude, crazy, and too brazen. Your dude's dangerous, the world's spinning, I'm transforming and you changing. I'm evolutionizing music with this truth of mine. My only weapon always been the pen, was told to use it wise. I do my job and these rappers committing suicide, claiming that they hip-hop. But tell me, who am I? Let's take it back to the good old days, that good old rap. In fact, I've been good old days with that. Let's take it back for the kids, back from the stars, I'm back. Now to get back to the bars. Let's take it back to the good old days, that good old rap. In fact, I'll be good old days with that. Let's take it back for the kids, back from the stars, I'm back. Now to get back to the bars. I'd like to give a big, very, very huge shout out to the homie Jimmy, making this possible. One love to the whole world. You know, it's luck. Yeah. Good music. Put our stamp on shit like this. Rock with me. Rock with me.
Gio, no say the N-word, Gio. Shut up.
Bye! I'ma mush your motherfucking face! Shit, motherfucker, I saw it!
We're doing our hot air balloon race to protest Sharia law.
I just love balloons and I love ketamine.
How do you know, bitch?
Oh my! Oh, Jesus! He's fat!
Chewbacca's going to enjoy a foot long in jail.
Yeah, dude, you got snacks? Suck it! Weed, though.
I could watch porn all day long.
Don't touch my fucking nips. It's weird. Lights all go home. Get out my store.
With your life.
There were two rules in my family growing up. Two hard rules. One was never get a tattoo, and the other was never join the military. And really? I didn't do either of those things. But it was we were the opposite. It was like, do not do that. Never, ever, ever fight for a government. Never.
Really?
Yeah. And I would never. That's not a disparaging comment. I agree. When I see people that did it, it's like it's a kind of a mind-boggling degree of sacrifice. But never. And I would never let my kid join the military either.
That's what everyone's talking about, is the draft. If we go to war with Iran, by the way, I was about to say Japan, but
we did that one.
We did that.
Your grandfather did that one.
No, man. Which war would you rather have been in? Over in Europe or in the Pacific?
Oh, Europe, because I could have at least before I perished. Look, I'm under no illusion that I would have made it all the way to the top of the beach.
I would never made it in any fucking
No,
war.
I would have gotten on the beach. I'd have been like, this is a pretty cool beach. And then I would have gotten exploded. But at least I would have had the opportunity to kill one Nazi. I mean, it's every little Jew's fantasy to be able to have killed a Nazi.
Yeah.
And at least maybe like, here's my theory. I get on Normandy. I got the helmets falling over my glasses. You know, all the other soldiers are picking on me. They're like, "Why is this torp here?"
It's going over my glasses.
I trip over the
like
rifle.
Captain America before the medicine.
Yeah, or just your standard issue Jew. And then a mortar hits me. My body flies into a million pieces, but my helmet shrapnelifies. The shrapnel goes past the barbed wire into the eye of one Nazi, and I blind that man. That's a fantasy.
Stranger things have happened.
You know, watching Inglourious Bastards is like, that was the rough part of that movie. It's like you watch Inglourious Bastards, and at the end, that's every Jew's pornography. That's what we masturbate to, is the idea of, dead Nazis.
Yeah.
And at the end, you're like, fuck yeah, take it, Hitler. And then the credits rolled and you walked out and you're like, oh, no, that didn't happen. That's not what happened at all.
It's so funny, though, to go back to this, is that people have thrown the word Nazi around so much that I actually thought it was just not a thing. I thought it was like, I thought it was an exaggeration of, like, when the right said, and now these transgenders want to use the bathroom and our kids are going to be getting face fucked in the stalls. And in my head, I was like,
I do remember when the right wing said that.
And I was like, that there's not enough of them. It's not going to, you're not going to notice it. You're never going to see it. It's like, it was one of those non-issues for me that I was like, well, now I can't listen to you. And then when I hear Nazi get thrown around, I go, now I can't listen to you. And then I just saw a documentary, and it was about the guy next door.
The devil next door. Pretty rigid in its wildness, if that
so
makes
funny.
sense.
I went to there was a Montessori school on Ehrlich Boulevard in Tampa, and my buddy's brother went to a Montessori school. I went to private schools, so when we had choir, you'd all stand in there and you'd just sing, and you'd have your hands in front of you and you'd sing, and you'd be done. And then we'd go and we'd do a bell exercises where we each had a bell, and you put on white gloves, and you'd play a song. With 18 kids, you play a song with bells. That would be our Christmas show. And so I went to a Montessori school, and now that you say that, I got up there and all the kids were in street clothes. I remember that being like, wait, there's no uniformity of it. Like everyone's just like in like dungarees and jeans and corduroys. They started singing the song and all the kids were dancing. And I was like, whoa, these are white kids. What the fuck are they doing dancing?
They're doing eurythmy.
I started laughing so hard, and as like a fourth grader, at my buddy's brother dancing. And it was like, but I remember thinking, that's the kid I am. I want to dance. I've been wanting to dance.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I was thinking about my kid. I was like, and my own experiences, like how torturous public school was for me to have to fit myself into a box that I knew and my teachers knew and my parents knew I didn't fit in the first place. And add on top of that I was in Oakland public school, so I was getting bullied for being a white kid the whole time. Like there was nothing pleasant about my experience in public school. But at the same time, I think public school is the right choice for a society. Public school creates like I'm grateful I went because I got exposed to different kinds of people and diversity and different like people from different backgrounds, and I'm grateful for that. But I also fucking dropped out of school in the 8th grade, and I stopped going to school in 8th grade, and 6 months later the school district noticed. That's how overcrowded. Like people are like, he hasn't been to school in 6 months. Like that seems bad. You know what I mean? And like. So I don't know, but a lot of people wrote us and were just like, look, it turned me into like kind of a weird elf. Like, they were like, I liked it for the first like 3 grades, and then after that it was a little bit weird, And so I think in the end we're going to send her to the public school because we live across the street from a great public school.
I'll tell you right now, I swear by it. I swear by all boys Catholic high schools. It's the greatest experience of my fucking life.
You think I should send my Jewish daughter to an all-boys Catholic high school?
Yeah, I do. I think you're allowed to now.
Right. Sort of vibe, right? And they were right across from him, and he didn't like the way they were living their lives, and I don't know, it just started fucking escalating, and basically what happened was the road that they shared, he fucking, they had to back out of their driveway onto his property, so he started planting a garden in the middle of the fucking street, and the dude backed over, and then finally he fucking put a boulder right. They couldn't even get their fucking car out. So the guy comes home from fucking the restaurant with his wife, and he's pissed. And he goes in, he grabs a sledgehammer, and he has a heart condition. And he's fucking slamming it. Yeah. And she's going, Jared, stop it, Jared. They had the on 911, the fucking him coming down and killing him, right? She's going, Jared, stop it. And he goes, shut up. And they had talked the whole time how much in love they were.
Yeah.
And it was so sad. Then the guy shoots him, and as he's getting shot, he says, I love you. But I'm going to. I mean, that really took you guys down.
Where's this? What were we talking about?
Because that's how you talk to somebody you love.
Oh, yeah.
You tell them to shut up, and then when the neighbor comes over to kill you, you're like, oh, yeah, I love this person.
Yeah.
And then you say it in that moment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have a more depressing story than that.
Oh, yeah? You want to go back and forth?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Our street's a one-way street, but there's a Starbucks by our house.
That's so sad.
No, and so this guy, one time I'm walking...
come down the wrong way?
I get really upset when people drive the wrong way down our one-way street. It drives me nuts. I talked to my therapist about it, and he goes, what can you do about it? And I said, nothing. And he said, then don't let it affect you anymore. Get yourself apart from that. Anyway, one day I'm walking the girls to school, and this guy flies out in his fucking BMW the wrong way and comes close to my girls, and I fucking yell at him. I don't know why I yell. I'm not going to do anything. But he stops his car, gets out of his car. He's an older guy. He's like 60, 65 maybe.
You're like, I got this.
And well, I have a water bottle in my hand, so I'm like, and it could be used as a weapon. And I go, hey, asshole, you're going the wrong way and you're flying down. You almost hit me and my kids. And he starts yelling, fucking 30 years I drive down the street. No one's ever said a fucking word. 30 fucking years. 30 years. This is my street more than it is yours. And I was like, Jesus
no, it
Christ.
Isn't.
Yeah.
30 years you've been breaking the law?
A month ago I saw the guy.
I've been hitting my wife for 30 years. No one's ever said a fucking word about it. Like, this is the dumbest argument ever.
30 years. That's what he said to me. 30 years. This is my
street. You fucking tattletale.
Yeah. So I see him a month ago, he had a stroke, and he's walking around, they got him in a wheelchair, and I thought, oh, that all caught up to him. I was like, wow. And then I was like, oh, you know what? That's why you don't let people driving the wrong way down your street affect you, because one day you're still fucking worked up 30 years later, and you have a fucking stroke.
So you think that you caused the stroke?
I hope I did.
There's a party. That's a big
part of me.
to
I'm
admit
fucking. The guy was so aggressive in front of my daughters. I was like, ugh, this is a bad dude. Hey, let's talk about me being a hero, though.
Did you tell him not to fucking drive his wheelchair up the wrong way?
No. No, I didn't.
You can use that if you want.
By the way, I'm already thinking about that come on the face joke, going, how much of that was Bill and how much was me? Can I take that on stage? I got to write a new hour.
Do it. It is your story.
I got to have a new hour by fucking February.
Do it. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God.
This is a job.
It just started loosening up. You know when a cigar starts loosening up by the bottom?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I have so much shit I have to do after this, too. It's fucking ridiculous.
What do you have to do?
I got to decorate a tree. I might have to, I'm on the road and I'm lonely, I might buy that.
Oh, you know what I buy on eBay? On eBay, late night, drunk? You ready for this? Football pencils. Do you remember football pencils?
Yeah.
Dude, that was a big score for me.
Do you know what I bought? I bought a complete set of all the football cards from 1970 all the way to 1980.
Bart Starr.
I bought all of them. I'd buy like not one chunk. I just kept buying, and I didn't buy the mint condition ones that were like thousands of dollars. There'd be guys that had like fucked up cards for like $150. It's like, I don't give a fuck that the corner is torn. I just want to look at them and read them.
But it's like time traveling. You grab it and you go back to first grade where you're like, I remember walking through Sears with my mom, and my mom hold my hand going, and all we were there for is football pencils. Just walking to the girl, do you guys have football pencils? And she'd be like, I don't know, maybe. And in my head I was like, Mom, if she doesn't know that she has them, they don't have them. Next door, let's go. And then finally I found football pencils.
What a great mom, though, taking you to store to get these fucking pencils.
Football pencils and figurine horses and precious gems. Those are my things.
That's so Florida.
Fucking anything with a horse, like a plastic horse.
One of my great fucking memories on the road, I was alone, of course, and I was watching TV, one of those QVC things, and there was a woman, like they had the local feed, and she just kept going, this is genuine white gold. She kept saying white. And I was just walking around the whole day talking to myself, genuine. And it became totally exaggerated. White gold. And I opened with that night, and everybody was like laughing. And it just, when you improv right off the top, it puts you in a zone, and you have like the best set ever.
Dane Cook, Sports Chalet.
Yeah.
I like to take everything to the limit. Like, you had seen that commercial one day, dude. I wanted to go down and do a guest host on QVC because those hosts have legit chops. To be able to speak for 4 hours nonstop about nothing, that is like, I wanted to try it once, see if I could do it, and be brand friendly. You know,
who's that guy? They fucked up because they made him national. The guy who used to do the radio show for Alabama and Auburn fans, Feinbaum.
I know who you're talking about. Is it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God! If you listen, you got to go on the internet. You want to go down a rabbit hole. Listen to the people calling in. How much they give up.
Just go online, fill out a simple questionnaire, and if you're approved by the doctor, then you get the medicine discreetly shipped to your door. You use it, you get your hair back. That's all that it is. It's super simple. Thanks to science, Baldness is now an option. That is why I have hair. That is why Bill doesn't. Simple. Very simple. All I did is do the work. Do the work, get the hair, be beautiful, and be the lead of your own podcast with your best friend who's bigger than you are, but people look at you because you look beautiful. Dive into 2020, hair first. My listeners, our listeners, can get started with their first month for free. Go to forhims.com/BillBurt. That's forhims.com/BillBurt. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. Very important. 3 months minimum prescription. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. I was supposed to go to Universal Studios with my kids, and I was like, I have panic attacks being put on roller coasters now. And I was like,
I fucking hate roller coasters. I hate all of those fucking things.
I did that for a living.
I hate the lack of control.
What do you mean?
They're
on rails.
Because every time I go to fucking Six Flags, somebody gets hurt. We got stuck on a fucking ride. You know the Superman roller coaster one? We were stuck on that thing.
I was stuck on that.
And I didn't have claustrophobia till I tried to get out, and I was just like, oh my God. And I saw these guys coming in the yellow beekeeper suits, looking at a fucking fuse box, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm that guy. And my wife was starting, the only thing that kept me calm was she was starting to freak out. Dude, it was only a 4-minute delay. It was fucking terrifying, because I remember the story. He's like, am I going to be here for 6 hours?
Yeah.
Am I going to start losing feeling in my extremities?
Season 2 of Burt the Conqueror. I now know that I'm riding roller coasters for a living. We get stuck on a ride at Busch Gardens, in Virginia. And we get stuck on a ride, and I don't think twice about it, right? And this child is sitting next to me. He's maybe 10 years old, and he goes, kind of scary, huh? And I went, the ride's over. We're just waiting for them to get us out. And he goes, yeah, but to think, like, we can't get out. Like, could you get out right now? And I went, huh? He's like we're.
Wait, are you in the Superman?
I'm locked in, and I go, what do you mean? And he goes, like,
dude, it's making my chest hurt. I did not like that at all.
I go, and now I'm shaking, and I go, I started freaking out so fucking bad.
10-year-olds holding your hand.
I held his hand. And
no,
dude, it's in the. There's a promo of me going,
sorry,
can I hold your hand? No. I started, and then I got.
It's like got battle scars on it.
Your penis has been through Nam, and we appreciate you as a man. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Enjoy your date.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Art.
Amazing. Well, we ruined that relationship for him.
She was like, I think I've never noticed. He was like, yeah, I got infected. It's really gross.
You can't see the infection scar on it.
But it's still some infection stuck in there.
But the other one's just the original scar, not the infection scar. So don't worry, you can put your mouth on that one.
Ew. Wow.
Well, I'm really glad that we cleared that up. That's fucking crazy.
A Tanner can only get hummers like a harmonica.
On the side like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Frank, how many times were you circumcised?
Once.
Once? It went well?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Were you an infant?
Too young to remember an infant.
That's great. That's when it should be. Bobby?
Only once.
Only once.
When you were a baby?
When I was an infant, yes.
That's good. You guys have good parents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Came out well. Did a good job.
Yes, you have good parents that just cut you right up for aesthetic purposes.
Make it look prettier.
Make it better.
I don't like my baby's penis. Make it look prettier.
Go ahead. Take the skin off. I know he was just born. He hasn't felt pain yet, but you know what? Let's start it off early.
Snip the goddamn skin off the most sensitive part of his body.
Snip the skin and get out of my face. I wonder if it really traumatized you guys and you don't know it.
Yeah, look at them.
My dad...
Obviously.
My dad said he never saw anything scream the way that I screamed.
No, he told you anything.
He told you that story. He said, Bobby, sit down. I want you to know that when we decided to electively cut off the tip of your penis, I ain't never seen nobody or nothing.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say nobody. He said it like it was like a horror film and an animal came out of the woods. He was like, and then I ain't never seen anything scream the way that thing screamed.
That thing had the demon in it, I'll tell you.
That thing screamed like it never felt a pain like that in its life. And you were probably just minutes born, like such a beautiful experience. Like you were like this fucking stardust before. Who knows?
You were brand new.
Yeah, you were brand new. You just came out fresh in the world. Your first of oxygen, the first time you laid on your mother's chest and you were just figuring things out, and then you smelled something for the first time, and then you breastfed and it was so good, and then they just cut your dick off.
Wild. And how old were you when your dad had this fucking weird conversation about how much you cried when he cut your
boy, sit down, boy.
I can't remember. I think it was.
Oh, Robert, don't tell him. Shut up, bitch. Listen, boy.
He's got to know sooner or later.
You want to know what really made you a man, Bobby? You want to know what really made you a man, boy? We took you out your mom's puss.
We took you right down out of her box.
And we said, you know what? He's not going to have one of them weird stretchy dicks. My boy's going to get his shit sucked. That's the first thing I saw when I looked in your eyes. Is
when a woman gives my boy a hand job, I want there to be a fire starting.
You're going to get sucked and fucked, Bobby. If it's the last thing I do as your daddy. And let me... Let me tell you, boy, I ain't never heard anything scream the way my boy screamed on that fateful day of his birth.
I'm gonna die.
An ode to my son. An ode to my son.
Imagine sitting a daughter down and being like, remember the day we took your clit off?
Oh my god.
Why is it so normalized? That's crazy.
No,
That's crazy.
It was honestly, not to ruin the fun, but it was like when my brother had a kid and they were talking about circumcising his kid.
Oh,
and my
okay.
dad was like, "Oh, I've never seen anyone scream."
Your dad was like, "Well, listen, boy, in
Let's
this family,
do it again.
in our generations,
I'm ready. We got a new baby coming. Let's fucking relive that.
Bobby was World War I. This is World War II.
Did they circumcise your nephew?
Yeah.
No!
Why after that's like you would think in the middle of that story they'd be like, hey, actually maybe we shouldn't do this.
Because so your dad was explaining that he'd never heard anything scream like that, and your brother was like, let's do
sign him up.
it. Oh, fuck. That's crazy.
Wow. I vote that Bobby's family is always Southern from here on out.
Bobby, boy. And his wife Linda.
Southern white trash.
Oh, listen, Robert, leave him alone, Robert.
leave the baby's Willie alone.
Well, is your dad's name Robert?
Yes, actually it is.
His grandfather's name is Robert too.
I'm a junior.
Ah, damn it.
What is your mother's name?
Michelle.
Robert and Michelle. That makes sense.
That does make sense.
But she's Linda in my bits.
She'll always be Linda,
She'll
damn
always
it.
be Linda, and she'll always be slapped by your father.
Actually, you want to know something really strange about my mom is her actual first name is Grace, but she introduces herself and everybody calls her Michelle.
For how long?
That's her middle name is Michelle.
When do you decide?
Wait, what an uninteresting fact that you thought was interesting. Can we just point that out? He's like, you guys want to hear something fucking nuts? This is crazy. Hold on. We got to stop the podcast.
Dox your mom for no reason.
Listen. Name and your real baseball stats.
I used to daydream that I was superheroes and stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, whenever I would walk through a doorway, I would pretend I was Hulk and I would punch through the door.
Oh, I would pretend that I could like move things with my mind.
Matilda.
I used to try to move things with my mind.
You know where that came from?
It's just like
no, me too. No, same.
Just trying to do it.
For way too long, right?
If you do it for long enough, it'll work. I believe it. I
would do it
that.
how Matilda did it, though. I'd get down like this.
Oh, yeah. Just intense concentration on it.
I did it with my powers.
Kim, I feel like you were this close
to getting it.
This close to getting it, and then you gave up.
I know. It's when someone's digging in a tunnel and they give up right before they get to the gold.
God damn it. That's fucked up. I've never tried to move things with my mind.
What if I looked at this cup and it just shot across the table? Sincerely, what would you guys do?
I mean, the podcast would be over for the day. We would need to talk about that
What to
like
do?
outside. Yeah.
What do you mean outside? What would you say?
I feel like we'd have to consider not releasing the podcast because then people would know you had powers, and we should kind of try to keep it under wraps for like 10 minutes. You know?
Yeah. While we think
can't
about
air it at
But
9:30 tonight.
Would you guys treat me different?
Kim, I would never treat you different.
If I had powers.
I'm already afraid of you.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Straight up already scared of you. I don't know what to say.
Would you guys treat me different?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be nicer.
I'd be 100% nicer.
You would have told me my sweater looked nice.
You would have had the greatest sweater on in the world.
If I had powers, you know what? Just the thought of people fearing me that much, actually, I think
she's wet. She's sliding out of her chair.
You know when like a parent gets stuck under a car and they're like, he was 5 years old, but he lifted the car with his adrenaline. It gives me that adrenaline.
Yeah? I feel like it's usually the parent who lifts the car off the kid.
No, there's like stories of like kids like being able to lift car. Oh, maybe you're right.
Because then like, it's like... How'd mom get hit,
How'd mom get here? Is that what you said?
How did mom get hit if she was like
in the car?
Man, him get hit.
Chasing a ball across the street.
Yeah. I always told her to look both ways. Anyway, I get what you're saying. You feel like just the idea of having power gives you power.
What would we do if I had that power? What would we do though? What would we do? Like, you can't just let me go home after that by myself and sit with that fact. Like,
it would start off with pranks.
It would definitely start off with pranks. I was just thinking.
No, we wouldn't go straight to pranks. I would be very scared of myself because I have powers now.
This would be the first time you knew that you could do it?
And like it happened in front of you guys, and like we all discovered it together.
All right, within 15 minutes, we'd be trying to get you to prank somebody. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's true.
Would we have to call someone?
No, I'd want you to get the intern's pants to fall down while he's standing at the standing desk over there.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, just little things like that, you know?
Yeah, I would rob people. Oh, I mean, do good.
What if you could just like pinch the tip of somebody's penis while it's in their pants and they don't even know what's happening?
That was the only superpower you had was sexually assaulting people?
It feels like the tip of their penis is being pinched, but nobody's near them. And I'm like in the corner, I know that I'm doing it, but nobody else does.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's really fun, right?
I saw on my train, on the train on the way here, there was this homeless guy and like, who was like very homeless. You know,
there's levels. Harrington was barely homeless.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Harrington is the king of the homeless. He was
a god.
He's of the homeless. He is the Jeff Bezos.
He was like the 1% of the homeless.
Yeah. He's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even consider it. He's a king.
He's a goddamn king. He's a pharaoh.
This homeless guy.
What was he on a scale of 1 to 10? Like 10 being the most homeless person you've ever seen.
I would give him a good 8.5.
Oof.
Yeah, so he was up there, right?
He was almost going to die.
Yeah, he was coughing, he was sneezing, there's shit coming out of his mouth. Yeah.
Once you pass like 7 on the scale of homeless, it means you're also sick.
Yeah, you're sick.
Yeah.
I also had to say I'm so tired of people coming onto the train with like infected legs asking for money. It really fucking bothers me.
Put your leg, you know what? I'm more likely to give you the money if you're not showing off your wound to me. How's that?
Yeah.
Just cover it up. Cover it up. Maybe
I can't get near you, even with a coin. You know what I mean? I'm running.
I'll throw it at you from across
I physically
the place,
get up and run on the train all the time. It's so rude, but I can't handle it, and I feel like I'll throw up.
The greats. And now, on The Art of Wrestling, before Will Ospreay, he's going to talk to me.
Normally, I am the interviewer.
Now, Hannibal, you talked some crap about me because you don't like the way that I interacted with Joey Ryan.
Yeah, I don't like pee-pee kissing.
So, well...
There's my impression of you.
Oh, thank you.
But it's a pee-pee, not a microphone.
Yeah. So this is a little awkward exchange between both of us. You had Kevin Sullivan, like you goaded him into talking shit about me.
So, but you're friends with the other Kevin.
I'm friends with a lot of Kevins.
Well... one Kevin in particular.
You sound kind of like look at your. Is it nothing. Kevin Owens?
Ding dong, ding ding ding, not ding dong, ding ding. Like if you get like a game show, you get it right.
What's wrong with Kevin Steen?
T-shirt.
Excuse me.
Wears a T-shirt. I was talking to old guys. We don't like that T-shirt talk.
So
we have T-shirt talk at we got dinner early. What do you guys think of a a wrestler wearing a T-shirt. And they'll go, oh, no way. So I wouldn't even think of asking what they thought if a wrestler kissed another wrestler's pee-pee.
Well, you did. You asked Kevin Sullivan about it.
Well, Kevin, he's the devil and stuff like that. He can handle it, but I wouldn't want to ask some of the sweet old guys.
And then you encouraged a fight between Lanny Poffo and Honky Tonk Man, which I kind of found a little disturbing. I'll be honest.
Hey, got to make a buck sometimes, you know.
Jesus, that's what I feel when I kiss a man on his wiener. So you can't relate to me? What's wrong?
I don't relate.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess have you said everything
you want to start the shoot interview or what? How did you get into wrestling?
You're interviewing me now?
Yeah. Nah, I'll use this feed too. I can borrow it.
Please don't.
Can you go behind that background? It's nicer for the YouTube.
Please don't.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you get into wrestling?
Stop. I'm not. This is not something I'm really interested in.
Where was your first match?
Okay, we've all seen you on YouTube ask these questions.
What was that territory like back then? A lot of people say it was very hard hitting. Is that true?
So now this is true that you don't even listen to the answers.
Who was booking back then?
You just say whatever you want to say.
I've heard people say they could make upwards of $2,000 a week in that territory.
And that's why I feel my podcasts are a little more important is because...
Was he ever stiff with you in the ring?
Having a real conversation, not just asking these questions that are
now that drew money. A lot of these new guys can't draw any money. They're all little
written down in the same
little tiny
question.
guys.
I guess I do kind of talk about.
I had a contract with WWE,
people
but
growing
it didn't
up,
work out.
And I do want to know the background of people's families and how they got into wrestling.
Why do you think Eric Bischoff was afraid to hire you?
Those are the similarities.
Do you think
of my questions? But I'm always making sure I'm interacting. And
I heard a rumor you were going to be WWF champion, but Hogan nixed it. Is that true?
Back and forth conversation.
What was the original idea for you and your brother when you were going to the WWF at the time?
Doesn't seem to be a back and forth conversation, which is what I liked. My style.
Did you prefer New York or Atlanta?
And maybe that's why I haven't put the show on YouTube.
And Philadelphia, I would have loved to.
Although
have been
it is
there.
now on Patreon.
Paul Heyman once told me, Hannibal, you would have been a natural here in Philadelphia.
I guess if you do want to see the video, I am going into your territory.
What? Canada?
No, YouTube.
Oh. I'm going to take down those Wrestle Talk, those British guys. I read the Meltzer stuff, not them.
All right, for legal purposes, that was not Hannibal. That was one of the great characters on Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. It's a podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. Dare I call it my sister or brother podcast? That was the great Marty DeRosa doing one of the many characters he does every single week with his comedy partner, Sarah Shockey. Find it wherever you find podcasts. All right, let's get into the real talk with Will.
Like we think okay, it can't get topped in that. So in 20 years, have you thought about in 20 years, like what wrestling's going to be? 25 years?
Until so the one thing I'm waiting to see, and I don't think it's possible, but I want to see someone do like a double rotation shooting star press off the top rope.
That's the next.
But I think that is the next step. I think do you think I could do it? No, I don't think I can. Like I barely can make shooting star presses.
Someone will figure it out.
But someone will.
Because no one a 450 Scorpio doing a 450 was the craziest thing ever
in the 80s. Yeah, and
right.
Do you remember when Liger, which is by the way is still mental, that Liger is the person that invented the shooting star press, and now he's just like one of your co-workers, which is mental.
Dude, Tenzan told me today he likes my character, and my heart melted. I was like, "Fuck!"
But that's cool.
Fucking hell, it's cool.
Like Nagata and guys like Tano would carry this company to newer heights and should have the biggest ego of all time, but is the most humble dude ever.
Yeah.
Guys like Okada are people look at him and go, that is the coolest motherfucker of all time. We see a different Okada backstage. We see this goofball and just
But I'm saying the 450 and then someone started doing a 630. You know what I'm saying?
Someone put another twist on it.
Right. Crazy. It's just fucking crazy. And the idea
someone did a moonsault. Amazing Red did a 540 moonsault.
Right. And so there's going to be next steps.
There's going to be steps, but
and faster action, right?
I think there's going to be robots as well.
DDT will come up with.
Oh yeah, it's like a wrestling robot. I definitely think so. And it's going to be so much better than promos at us, and we're all going to suck, and then we're all going to get out of work, and then there's going to be this race war between robots and humans in wrestling.
They're taking our jobs.
Yep, taking our jobs. South Park fan, I like it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, bud.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that it?
Are we missing anything?
No.
Great.
No, that's all good. But thank you very much for having me.
Thanks,
I generally love having a little chat with you.
It was a nice little chat.
It was a lovely chat.
And there you have it, at Will Ospreay on Twitter and Instagram, or you could buy his merch